Hey there, welcome to another session. Today we are going to be working on the back line of our body, which means we get to do the entire series lying on our bellies on our mat. Let's get started. Swivel around, lie down on your stomach, and I want you to stack your hands and place your forehead on your hands. From here, I want you to think of pulling your lower abs in and up to press that pubic bone into the mat and lift your belly up towards the spine. And you'll notice as I do that movement, my lower back lengthens out. You want to imagine as if you have a little egg under your belly button and you don't want to squash it through this entire series. All right, so go ahead and place the forehead on the hands. Keep the abs in and up, pubic bone down, reaching long out the legs. Shoulder blades are pulling down the back. This is your starting position for each of the exercises in this series. For the first half of the series, we're going to keep those legs down on the mat and only work through the upper torso. And as we're lifting through the torso, I want you to think of lengthening long out the top of the head to lift that torso up. I don't want you to think of arching through the lower spine. So I don't care how high you get, I want you to think of reaching long out the spine to float off your mat. So first, we're just going to reset, belly pulls in and up, long through the legs, shoulder blades down. And you're just going to lengthen out the top of the head to float the hands, shoulders, and head off the mat. And then lengthen back down. And abs stay tight. Think of lengthening out the top of the head to float the upper body. And back down. And just keep going with that. We have a few more here. Just getting used to that lengthening and that floating and not arching all the way up. Stay up on this next one. And you're just going to unfold the arms at the elbows. And from here, your palms are facing each other, your arms are in a V. And I want you to think of pulling the shoulder blades down the back, drawing the elbows wide and bringing those elbows into a W. Keep the abs tight and draw the shoulder blades down as you extend the elbows so your arms go into a V. And we're just going to keep doing that motion, and we're trying to think of pulling the shoulder blades down the back in order to make that motion happen. I like to think that the bottom tips of my shoulder blades are pulling into my opposite back pockets here. Now keep the shoulder blades down. You're still hovering as you extend those arms. And you want to lower the arms so the pinkies touch the ground, and then raise the arms so the thumbs come up towards the ceiling. And so as we're doing this, we're trying to just move the arms in the socket. You're not lowering and lifting the spine at all. Check in with your belly. 2 more here. And bring the arms into a T. Shoulder blades are still down the back. Lower the pinkies towards the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Lift those thumbs to the ceiling. And so again, we're just moving arms in socket. You're not lowering and lifting the spine at all. Keep thinking about that belly lifting. And circle those arms around so that your pinkies are now reaching towards your thighs and your palms are reaching towards the ground. Collarbones are wide and you're spiraling the upper arm in the socket to really keep that chest open, reaching long through the sternum, long through the top of the head, belly in and up. Same thing here. Palms reach to the ground. Squeeze the shoulder blades to lift those arms. At no point do you get to collapse the collarbones. And again, I don't care how high you're lifting your arms, you're trying to really reach those fingertips towards your feet. abs tight. And from here, bring the arms back into your T, thumbs are up towards the ceiling, abs are lifting nice and high, and keep those thumbs towards the ceiling, and you're just gonna circle those arms towards the hips and reach them back into the T. So you're keeping those arms long, and you're just doing little semicircles. It's like you're doing half of a forward-facing snow angel. Two more here. Good. Bring your arms down. Place the hands under your shoulders, and we're just going to push back into a child's pose. So go ahead and push back through the hands and tuck those knees up under you. Sit your hips back on your heels here and reach long through the arms. As you're in your child's pose position, I want you to think about how the front ribs are compressed on your thighs and try to use that opportunity to breathe into the back line of the body. So try to expand the sides and the backs of your rib cage as you take your breaths. So you're going to take a nice deep breath in and out. And stay there. You're going to take 3 more breaths like that, deep breaths in and big exhales. Okay, and so now we are going to lengthen back out long on our mats and return to that same position. So hands are stacked, forehead is on the hands, and you're gonna pull that pubic bone forward and up, lift that belly one more time. Now we're gonna work just the lower body, trying to keep the upper body down. And what I want you to think about is, I want you to think about moving the upper leg bone in the socket from these upper hamstrings and glutes. I don't want you to think of lifting the legs from the back. Again, it's the same concept as what we did with the upper body. I want you to think of reaching long out the legs to float them up rather than thinking of lifting them to the ceiling. Okay, so stack those hands, forehead is down, pubic bone forward and up, lift that belly button as if you have that egg underneath there. And now this time we're reaching long out the legs, reach long out both legs and just float them up off the mat and lengthen for them to come down. So I want you to start with your legs in parallel here. So you're reaching out and up and out and down, and make sure that you're not bending the knees to make it look like your legs are getting higher. Again, it's not about height, it's about keeping everything connected. Really stay lifting in the belly and moving from that glute hamstring connection. You still want to keep your shoulder blades down the back and the collarbones wide as you do these movements with the legs. Keep the legs up. Now you're going to do little swimmers. So you're going to lower one leg towards the mat as you reach one up. And you're going to switch. And we're just going to keep doing the switches. Slow and steady. Trying to make sure that you're not rocking as you lift one leg. Turn both legs to center, and I want you to open the legs, so externally rotate at the hips, and then you're going to open the legs hip width, and then bring one leg on top of the other, and then open and switch. We're doing these beats here. Again, nice and slow, trying to keep those abs tight. Don't let the pelvis rock. Keep the external rotation in the hips, flex those feet, and you're going to squeeze those heels all the way together, and then open hip width. And we're going to continue with that. And the squeezing is happening from this upper inner leg, not from the heels. The heels just touch as a byproduct of the upper leg squeezing. Check in on that lower back. I lost mine for a moment. Two more. Stay squeezing, point the toes. We're going to do some circles. So both legs stay together, and you're going to lift them up a little higher, open them hip width, lower them towards the mat, and just skim them along the mat to drag them together. Open, hip width, lower and skim, and lift and open. Keep going with that. That's the other kitty cat. Say hi, Peanut. And now rotate those legs back into parallel. You're gonna reverse those circles. So skim them along the mat to open them hip width, deepen the abs to lift them up, drag them together in that lifted position, and then lower them back to the mat. Abs tight, pull that pubic bone forward and up, slide those legs wide along the mat, lift and drag together. And again, make sure you're not bending the knees to make the circles happen. You're really trying to stay long through those legs. Two more. Good, lower those legs for a moment. And now we're gonna finish off with both the upper body and the lower body lifting at the same time. Again, it's very important you're not lifting from your lower back. So pull that pubic bone forward, or pull the abs in and up, pubic bone forward, pressing into the mat, lifting that belly button so you make room for that egg. And from here, think of lengthening long out the top of the head and long out the toes to float the torso and the legs and lengthen back down. And lengthen out through the top of the head, tips of the toes. And you want to think that you're just reaching so far out that it floats you up. And stay up on this last one. Extend the arms into your T. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back, bringing the arms by the pelvis. Keep the belly button lifted. Think of reaching your sternum forward as you reach long through those toes. Just hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and come down. Go ahead and press back into that child's pose one more time. Same concept as before. Try to have the ribs pressing along the front of your thighs and try to find that expansion in the back and sides of the rib cage. 3 deep breaths here. And on the last one, scoop the belly in and up, draw that pubic bone forward, and roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time. And there you have it. So that whole series should have gotten the entire back line of your body firing. Hopefully it did. And that is a perfect one to pair with an ab series if you have a little extra time. See you next time.